The space station Vega 9 floated quietly above a dark red planet, far from Earth and even farther from the laws of any known system. It was a place for traders, smugglers, and secrets. Deep inside the lower decks of the station, behind thick metal walls and cold electric doors, was a cage. And inside that cage sat something or someone people whispered about but never dared to face. They called her the monster. No one knew her name. No one even knew her species. She had smooth purple skin that glowed faintly in the dark, long white hair that fell over her shoulders like silk, and golden eyes that never blinked. She never screamed, never begged, never attacked. She just sat and waited. Micah Rail, a young human engineer, didn't believe in monsters. He worked on the station's maintenance crew, fixing broken vents and busted lights. He was curious by nature. And that cage, locked in Sector B13, bothered him. No one had touched the systems down there in months, yet the sensors said the life sign inside was strong and stable. One night, after finishing his shift, Micah took a detour. He told no one. With a small toolkit strapped to his back, he stepped into the forgotten hallway, his boots echoing softly. The lights were dim here, the air colder. When he reached the cage room, he paused. The door had 3 locks standard, biometric, and a voice passcode. He wasn't there to open it, just to look. He pressed his palm on the scanner. The outer glass turned transparent. There she was. She sat on the floor with her legs folded, hands resting on her knees. She looked peaceful, not like a prisoner, not like a monster. Her skin shimmered in the faint light, and her chest moved slowly with each calm breath. Micah stared. "What are you?" he whispered. Suddenly, her golden eyes opened. She looked directly at him. Micah jumped back. He hadn't expected her to move. But she didn't growl or charge the glass. She didn't even stand. She just watched him. He slowly stepped forward again. "You understand me?" he asked, his voice low. She tilted her head. Micah felt a strange chill in his chest, but not from fear, something else. Something like recognition. "I'm not supposed to be here," he said. "They say you're dangerous." Her lips moved, barely a whisper. He leaned closer. "You smell like home," she said. Micah froze. "What did you say?" She stood now, graceful and tall. Her voice was soft but clear. "You smell like home," she repeated. Micah looked at her glowing skin, her calm expression. She didn't seem dangerous. She seemed tired, lonely. "Why are you locked up?" he asked. She touched the glass gently. "They fear me, but they don't know me." Micah glanced at the nearby console. It showed her vitals, heartbeat, oxygen, stress levels, all normal. No signs of aggression. He accessed the system using his engineering code. Her name field just said, unknown. She watched him quietly. Micah opened her medical record. There were no wounds, no signs of experiments. But the notes were strange, classified by order of command. Do not engage. Dangerous knowledge. Potential risk to galactic peace. What kind of knowledge? Micah muttered. She spoke again, this time more clearly. They locked me here because I ran from them. Who? But before she could answer, alarms beeped from his wristband. His shift check-in was late. He had to go. He looked at her one last time. I'll come back, he said. Her golden eyes glowed brighter for a moment. You already have. Micah turned and left, heart pounding. His mind was spinning. She wasn't a monster. She wasn't violent. She was hiding something. Or someone was hiding her. As he walked away, her whisper echoed in his ears. You smell like home. But what did that mean? Micah couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her, those glowing golden eyes, that soft voice saying, you smell like home. He turned in his bunk, the dull hum of Vega 9's engines vibrating through the walls. Outside, stars drifted silently, cold and uncaring. But something had changed inside him. She wasn't just some prisoner. She knew something. By morning, Micah had made a decision. He couldn't ignore her, not after what he saw. He skipped breakfast, grabbed his toolkit, and walked straight to the station's archive chamber. No one paid attention. Engineers came and went all the time. But Micah wasn't there to fix anything today. He sat at a dusty terminal in the back, typed in his admin code, and whispered under his breath, "Let's see who you really are." Her cell had no name. Just a code, Specimen X7, no species, no origin planet. The only entry in her file was captured during Operation Duskfire. Do not communicate. Do not release. Classified threat. Subject holds forbidden knowledge of pre-galactic events. Micah blinked. Pre-galactic? That meant before the Council, before recorded space history, before Earth even joined the stars. He clicked deeper. Overriding the warnings, the next file opened. With a flicker. It was a video, grainy, short, and silent. It showed her. Not in a cage. Standing tall, surrounded by armored guards. And kneeling humans, soldiers, scientists. One held a flag with the old Earth emblem. She looked like a leader. Not a prisoner, but the video cut out. Micah sat frozen. What the hell is going on? Behind him, a shadow moved. A man in a gray uniform stood silently. "You're not cleared for that footage," the man said coldly. Micah spun around, startled. I was just running a system check." "Save it," the man snapped. "Forget what you saw. That file is a mistake. It's being deleted." Micah swallowed. "Who is she?" The man stepped closer. His badge read, Security Commander Trell. His eyes were sharp, cruel. "She's a myth," Trell said. "A danger from before your time. You'd be wise to keep your head down and do your job." Micah's voice was quiet. She didn't look dangerous. She looked betrayed. Trell leaned in. "This is your last warning. Stay away from the cage." He turned and walked out, leaving behind silence and more questions. Micah waited a few minutes, then opened one more file. This one wasn't locked. It was a medical scan. Full dash body. It showed the alien woman's internal structure. Her heart had 3 chambers. Her blood carried light energy signatures, not just oxygen. More shockingly, her DNA had human markers, almost 63% match. Micah whispered, "She's part human?" He copied the scan to a hidden drive, closed the system, and left fast. That night, he returned to Sector B13. The hallway was darker than before. The cameras blinked red. When he reached the cage, he paused. The glass was already clear. She was standing, waiting for him. "You came back," she said softly. He nodded. "I saw the video. You were free once, respected." Her eyes lowered. "Long ago. Why did they lock you up?" Micah asked. "What's Project Duskfire?" She looked up sharply. "That name is not meant to be spoken," she said. Her voice trembled for the first time. Micah stepped closer. "I think they're hiding more than just you." She reached toward the glass again, her hand glowing faintly. "They fear what I know, what I remember. What is it?" He whispered. She looked at him with pain in her eyes. "Before the stars were ruled by empires, before the councils, there was another kind. Older, stronger. I was one of their protectors." Micah's breath caught. "You're from before everything?" "I remember Earth," she said, "when it was still waking up. I watched humans grow. I helped them, once." He shook his head in disbelief. "Why would you help humans?" "Because," she said slowly, "you are the only ones who fight. For the weak, who break the chains. Even when it costs you everything." Micah stared into her glowing eyes, and then alarms blared through the hallway. Red lights flashed. A voice called over the speakers. "Unauthorized access detected in cell block B13. All guards to lower levels." Micah looked up, panic rising. The alien woman spoke fast. "You must go." "I can get you out," he said. She stepped back. "Not yet. If they catch you, you won't live long enough to try again." Reluctantly, he turned to leave, but just before he ran, she called out, "Micah." He stopped. Her voice was calm but firm. "There's a reason you're drawn to me. You'll understand soon." Micah didn't return to work the next day. He sat in his small bunkroom, the door locked, staring at the flickering data drive in his hand. The medical scan replayed again and again. Almost human, her voice still echoing in his mind. "You are the only ones who break the chains." Outside, the station moved through silence. 1,000 beings lived and traded above him, but none knew what was truly hidden in the lower decks. No one cared what the monster in the cage really was, but Micah cared now. He couldn't forget her eyes, the way she said his name. Left his room after midnight. He took the maintenance tunnels, dark, narrow shafts behind the walls, known only to engineers like him. No cameras, no guards, just metal and silence. He reached her cage again. The glass was dark this time. He placed his hand on the panel. It lit up. The glass slowly turned clear. And she was already waiting. Standing tall, calm, watching him like she had been expecting him. "I need answers," Micah said quietly. She didn't speak. Instead, she reached toward the glass and placed her hand flat against it. Micah hesitated, then mirrored her. A warmth spread through the glass, soft, pulsing, like a heartbeat. Then, a strange light wrapped around both their hands. His eyes widened. It wasn't painful. It was familiar. Suddenly he heard her voice, but not in his ears, in his mind. "This is safer. They can't hear us here." Micah gasped and stepped back. What was that telepathy? She smiled faintly. "You call it that. My kind call it communion." "You were inside my head," he said, stunned. "Not inside. Just beside." Her voice was clear, gentle, like wind through leaves. "I can only connect with those I trust. Or those who carry a part of me." Micah blinked. "A part of you?" She nodded slowly. "Your blood speaks to me. Long ago, we shared knowledge with humans. We planted memories, seeds, only a few ever awakened." Micah frowned. "You're saying I'm one of those?" "Yes." She stepped closer to the glass. "That's why you feel this, that pull, that fire in your chest. You were meant to find me." Micah sat down slowly on the floor, stunned. "This doesn't make sense. Why hide you here? Why erase everything about you?" Her voice lowered. "Because I remember what others want forgotten. I was there when the stars first turned cold, when the old machines rose, and the treaties were signed in blood." "You're older than anything in the archives," Micah whispered. "And that makes me dangerous," she replied. "I carry truths that could collapse your council." Micah was silent for a long time. Finally he asked, "Why me? Why trust me?" Her answer was slow, honest. "Because the last human I trusted died to protect me." Micah's heart beat harder. She looked down. "He was brave, kind. He gave up everything. And I failed him. I've been here ever since, waiting for the next one." Micah stood. "I won't fail you." The air between them shimmered again. She smiled softly. "Then we begin." He stepped closer. "Begin what?" "The escape." Before he could speak again, her eyes narrowed. She turned her head sharply. "Someone's listening." Micah pulled back from the glass. She whispered aloud now, "You must leave now." He turned just as a sound echoed behind him. Footsteps. Micah ducked behind the side panel. 2 guards walked into the hallway. One of them was Commander Trell. "I know someone's been here," Trell said coldly, eyes scanning. Micah held his breath. The alien woman returned to the center of her cell, quiet and still, like nothing had happened. Trell stopped in front of the glass. He stared at her. "You've been talking to someone," he muttered. "But I'll find out who." And this time, no more cages. We'll take your mind apart piece by piece. She didn't move, but as he turned to leave, Micah saw her golden eyes flicker toward him, hidden in the dark. She knew he was there, and she was protecting him. The next morning, Vega 9 felt strange. Lights flickered in the corridors. Doors opened. Half a second too slow. Voices on the comms were full of static. Engineers called it minor system drift. But Micah knew better. Something was coming. He had only slept for 2 hours, haunted by her words. The last human I trusted died to protect me. And now she trusted him. Micah stood near the main power core, checking energy levels. But his mind wasn't on the numbers. He kept glancing at his hidden data chip, the one with her scan, the ancient video, and the words. Project Duskfire burned into it. He slid it into a cracked tablet and ran a private query. One result popped up. Duskfire entry. Level Omega access restricted. He tapped again. The screen flickered. A black background, white text. If she wakes, the old war begins again. Suddenly, boom. The lights went out. The station trembled. Screams echoed through the vents. Alarms failed to activate. The emergency system didn't come online. Total blackout. Micah grabbed his toolkit and flashlight and ran. Every corridor was dark. Air filters stopped humming. Doors jammed half open. People shouted in every language, but he didn't run to safety. He ran to her. He took the maintenance tunnels again, light bouncing wildly in front of him. As he reached Sector B13, he noticed something chilling. The security doors were open. No code. No locks. Just open. He rushed down the hall expecting destruction, maybe death. But when he reached the cell, she was still there. Standing inside. Calm. The cage door unlocked. Micah blinked in disbelief. You could have escaped. She looked at him. Her glowing skin was brighter now, like her energy was waking up. I told you, she said softly. I don't run. I wait for the right hand to reach for mine. Micah stepped inside. The door didn't stop him. He felt the warmth around her, something powerful and ancient, but peaceful. She stepped close. I thought the blackout might be you, he whispered. She nodded. Partly, I sent a signal to break their control systems. I needed a moment to speak with you, truly speak. Micah looked at the dead lights. They'll notice, Trell. He already knows. Her voice was calm, almost sad. He's been preparing to dismantle me, piece by piece. To erase what I carry. Micah clenched his jaw. Then we leave, now. She reached for him, but gently. Her fingers brushed his wrist. Not yet. First, you must see. Suddenly, his vision blurred. His legs froze. He wasn't standing in the cage anymore. He saw Earth, but not the Earth he knew. It was green, untouched, no cities, no spaceports. A blue world covered in wild forests and shining rivers. In the sky, her people descended. Tall beings, glowing softly, walking like light through trees. They taught, they healed. And among them, one girl stood close to a small group of early humans. She taught them how to grow food, how to speak. That girl was her. Micah's breath caught. He saw a war come. The old machines, a falling star, fire in the skies, and her people vanished. She stayed. And then darkness. Micah fell back with a gasp, trembling. You helped build humanity, he whispered. She nodded slowly. We believed in your kind. Before you believed in yourselves. Micah stepped closer. Why didn't you leave when they locked you up? Her eyes glowed. Because I made a promise to the last human who died for me, that I would wait for the next one worthy of the truth, of what comes next. Suddenly a sound cut through the silence. Footsteps. Boots. Multiple. Micah turned. Trell. With 4 armed guards. Weapons raised. There he is, Trell growled. Both of them. The lights blinked back on red alert. The station had caught up. Micah stepped in front of her. "She's not a monster. She's a threat," Trell snapped. "Stand down, Rail." The guards aimed, but before anyone fired, the room pulsed. A low hum, like wind moving through metal. Her skin flared pure white light. The guards froze. Their weapons melted. Trell's face twisted in fear. "What are you?" he whispered. She looked at him, not angry, not cruel, just ancient. "I am memory." Micah ran. His boots slammed against the metal floor as he dragged open the old service door behind the cage. The guards were still stunned, blinded by the flash of her energy. Trell was shouting, struggling to reboot his melted weapon, but she wasn't running. She stood inside the open cage, staring at Micah. "Come on," he begged. She walked forward slowly. Her glow had faded to a soft shimmer now, her strength dimming. That light, it had taken something out of her. When she reached him, she touched his chest gently. "This path, it will cost you." Micah grabbed her hand. "Then I'll pay it." They vanished into the service tunnels, dark, narrow, unknown. Red lights chased the walls. For the next 2 hours, Micah moved them through back routes and forgotten shafts. He had memorized the schematics of the lower station years ago, places no one used anymore. Places where cameras had been disconnected long ago. She didn't speak. She walked silently, her bare feet never stumbling, even in total darkness. Finally, they reached an old cargo bay. Empty. Cold. Long abandoned. Micah collapsed on a crate, panting. She stood by the wall, watching him. "That light you used," he said, breathless. "You could have hurt them, but you didn't." She nodded. "It wasn't to destroy. It was to remind them." "Remind them of what?" She looked at him, tired. "That I am not a weapon. I am history." Micah stood, wiped his face, and pulled out a small datapad. "There's an emergency pod 2 decks up," he said. "Hidden under the floor of a supply room. It's not connected to the station logs. We can use it to escape." She tilted her head. "You had this planned?" "No," he admitted. "But I think I knew this day would come." He turned the pad toward her. A glowing image appeared. A design schematic for the escape pod. She stared at it quietly. Micah noticed something then. She was shaking. Just slightly. He stepped closer. "Are you hurt?" She didn't answer. Her knees slowly gave out, and she sat on the floor. Micah rushed to her side. "What's wrong?" "I used too much of myself," she whispered. "I haven't opened my core in decades. The light weakens me if I don't recover." Micah pulled his jacket off and wrapped it around her. "You'll recover. I'll protect you until you do." She looked up at him, eyes dim but steady. "Why do you care, Micah Rail? Why not run like the rest?" He sat beside her. He didn't speak right away. Then, softly, he said, "Because I've spent my whole life fixing broken things, pipes, engines, doors. But I never thought I'd be asked to fix a person, especially someone the whole galaxy forgot." She watched him in silence, then smiled. "Your kind," she said, "has always been the only one willing to lift what others throw away." But they weren't alone. Hidden above the cargo bay, up in the air vents, a silent figure watched through a cracked grate. The hooded spy pulled out a cum. "They're together now." Moving toward Deck 12, the humans leading her. A voice responded, "Don't engage." "Not yet. Let them open the pod. We need her off station, then we strike." The hooded figure whispered back, "Understood." Meanwhile, on the upper decks, Commander Trell stood in front of a hologram, one that shimmered with deep crimson. The face on the screen wasn't human. Pale skin, black eyes. A high-ranking council agent. "You've failed to contain her," the agent said. Trell clenched his fists. "She used energy we didn't know she still had." The agent's voice was cold. "You were warned. She cannot be allowed to reach the surface of any world. She knows the coordinates. Trell's eyes widened. Coordinates to what? The screen crackled. The vault. The transmission ended. Back in the cargo bay, Micah helped her stand again. We're almost there, he said. Once we're off station, we'll find a quiet place. Safe, you'll heal. She looked up at the old pipes above them. No, she said. We're not running to hide, Micah blinked. Then, where are we going? She stepped close, whispering the words like a secret she hadn't spoken in 1,000 years. To the vault. The one they buried beneath a dead sun. The place where the truth still sleeps. Micah froze. He didn't know what the vault was, but he knew one thing. Everyone seemed terrified of it, and she was the key. The emergency escape pod was close now, just 2 decks above, behind a sealed storage panel in an unused medical wing. Micah and the alien woman moved carefully through the old side passages. Every few minutes, the station shook. Power flickered. Somewhere above them, security forces scrambled, but not in their direction, at least. Not yet, but Micah had a growing feeling in his chest, a pressure, like something heavy was watching. She felt it too. They're not chasing, she said. Quietly, they're hurting. Micah slowed. Hurting us? Yes, she whispered. Toward something. They reached a service ladder. Micah climbed first, flashlight between his teeth. She followed easily, silent and fluid. The air grew warmer, thicker with old steam. Pipes hissed. The hum of the reactor was louder now. Micah pulled up the grate into the medical storage room. Dust covered everything. Shelves were overturned. Equipment lay broken on the floor, long forgotten. He found the hidden hatch beneath a medbed. Pulled it open. The emergency pod blinked alive, small, fast, made for stealth. We're in, he said, helping her step down. But before she could enter the pod, a voice spoke from the shadows. Going somewhere? Micah turned. The hooded spy stood in the corner. Female. Slender. Not a guard. Not human either. She pulled back her hood. Her skin was silver blue. Her eyes black and shining. And on her chest, a mark burned softly, a council brand. Who are you? Micah asked, stepping in front of the alien woman. The spy didn't answer. Instead, she looked at the glowing woman behind him. Do you know what she really is? Micah tightened his grip on the pod handle. She's not your prisoner anymore. The spy smiled. She's not a prisoner. She's a vault key. The alien woman stepped forward. Her voice was calm, but sharp. You're one of the sentinels, programmed to kill anything that remembers. The spy nodded. And you? You remember too much. Without warning, she moved, faster than thought. Micah threw himself in the way, and the spy's strike glanced off his arm. Burning heat tore through his sleeve. He stumbled, shouting. The alien woman didn't run. She raised her hand in time. Slow dot light shimmered from her fingertips like ripples in water. The air turned thick, heavy, still. The spy froze mid-motion, trapped in a slow-motion web of golden threads. She's linked to the vault, the woman said softly. She's bound to it, like I am. Micah groaned, holding his arm. Then, we take her with us? No, the woman whispered. She will follow us, even into death. The threads faded. The spy gasped, falling to her knees, but didn't attack again. Instead, she smiled darkly. It's too late. Trell knows. He's already powering the core. Micah frowned. What core? The central reactor, she said. It's not. Just fuel. It's a containment chamber. Micah froze. For what? The spy's answer chilled the room. For what she left behind. For what she locked away. Suddenly sirens screamed. The entire station shook violently. The lights turned blood red. Core breach in progress. Evacuate immediately. Micah turned to her. What did they do? She was pale now, glowing brighter, but unsteady. They're unlocking the lower chamber, she said. trying to destroy the vault before I can reach it. Micah helped her into the pod. Then we beat them to it. She stared at him. You'll die if we fail. He held her gaze. And if we do nothing, how many more will die after us? She smiled just faintly. Micah took the pilot seat. The pod began to hum, but behind them, the spy lunged forward again. This time not to fight, but to speak. I was wrong, she whispered. She's not the weapon. She's the warning. Micah blinked. What? Before she could explain, a shockwave ripped through the deck. The pod launched. Sparks exploded behind them. The hallway collapsed in flames. Micah fought for control. The pod spinning past debris, through tight mechanical shafts, and out into open dark through the inner reactor tunnel. Alarms blared behind them. Systems failing. He looked back. She was still glowing, but weaker. Stay with me, he said. She placed her hand over his. And then her eyes opened wide. What is it? He asked. She pointed ahead, and there, through the cockpit window, they saw it. A black sun. Dead. Artificial. Hanging in space behind Vega 9. Cloaked for centuries. She whispered one word. Vault. The escape pod drifted silently toward the dead sun. There was no light from it, no heat. Just a frozen black sphere in space, the size of a moon. Machines had built it, long before memory. It didn't orbit anything. It watched. Micah single quotes, S-fingers, trembled on the controls. He looked back at her. She sat in the co-pilot seat, eyes closed, her glowing skin dimmed almost to gray. Her breathing was slow, shallow. He whispered, "We're here. Wherever here is." She opened her eyes. "It's not a place," she said. "It's a promise." The black sun responded to her voice. A pattern of light circles, lines and shifting runes glowed faintly across its surface. Something deep inside awoke. The pod's screen buzzed. The controls went dark. And still, the pod kept drifting, pulled by something unseen. Micah stood. "What's happening?" She looked at him, a faint smile on her lips. "It's opening to me." The pod docked softly into the black sun's side. A circular airlock hissed open. Beyond it, not darkness but golden light, warm, gentle, alive. Micah helped her to her feet. She was weak now, but standing. They stepped inside together. The vault's interior was nothing like the cold steel of Vega 9. It was ancient, built of smooth, light-colored metal that felt alive under their boots. The walls shifted with soft pulses like a heartbeat. Micah's voice echoed in awe. "This isn't a weapon vault, is it?" "No," she said. "This is a memory chamber. It holds what was lost." The room widened, revealing a glowing pool of light at the center. Dozens of suspended orbs hovered above it, each one swirling with scenes from distant times. Civilizations long buried. Forgotten heroes. Old stars, Micah whispered. "Why hide?" "This, because truth scares empires," she said. The council was built on the lie that they were first. That nothing came before them, but we came before. And you came from us. She pointed to one of the orbs. It showed early Earth human tribes being taught by tall, glowing beings. Then war, then fire, then silence. And then, her falling from the sky. Carrying a wounded mana human in her arms, Micah stared. "That was you." She nodded. "That man," she whispered, "gave his life to hide this vault. He was the first. You are the last." But they were not alone. A piercing whine echoed from behind. Micah spun around. A ship entered the vault from the outer. Breach Trell's cruiser. Fast. Black. Armed. Trell's voice came over Combs. "You've led us straight to the lie. And now we erase it forever." The vault began to tremble. Explosives planted long ago blinked to life along the walls. Micah shouted. "They rigged it just like the spy said." She stepped forward, weak but firm. "I can stop it. But I must join with the core." Micah grabbed her hand. What does that mean? She looked at him so deeply it hurt. It means I won't come back out. Trell's voice echoed louder. You'll die alone in there, and your truth's with you. Micah stood tall. Then hear this, Trell, she's not dying alone. He walked with her to the vault center. The glowing pool of light opened. She turned to him one last time. You have a choice, she said. You can go. You can survive. Micah shook his head. You gave your light for us, he said. I give mine back. She stepped into the light dot. It wrapped around her, soft golden threads pulling into her skin. Her glow returned. Her eyes burned like twin stars. Micah stepped beside her. The light touched him too, but gently. It read him, accepted him. The orbs above spun faster. Then a flash. The vault sent out a pulse across space, through wormholes, across systems, through council satellites and broadcast towers. The truth was no longer hidden. It was unleashed. Back on Vega 9. Screens flickered on their own. The people saw. The recordings. The memories. The glowing woman healing the sick. The old humans learning. The betrayal. The truth. And then her voice. We are not monsters. We are memory. And now, you remember. Commander Trell screamed. His ship trembled. Systems failed. He pounded the controls, just as the vault exploded. In light, but not fire, rebirth. Trell's ship was pushed away, dead, silent, powerless. The vault was gone. In its place, a single glowing star now burned bright and calm. Far away, aboard an old cargo freighter, the spy watched her screen. Tears slipped down her silver cheek. She made it. She whispered. Micah stood in a field of golden light. She stood beside him, no longer caged, no longer weak. Around them, new stars were forming. She looked at him. You gave up everything. Micah smiled. I didn't lose anything, he said. I found the truth. She was never the monster. The monster was the silence they tried to keep her in. And now, the galaxy remembers.